Hey everybody, welcome to the Download Youth Ministry Web Show, episode 264. Doug Fields here with the Queen, Katie Edwards, junior high extraordinaire pastor at Saddleback Church.
Still there.
Josh Griffin, who's steadily employed at high school ministry at Saddleback Church.
Yeah, we have the world's greatest junior high pastor and a guy who's steadily employed.
Still employed.
Not
even steadily.
Employed.
No, Katie and I were talking before you got here, so we got to get through the show so we can talk.
Right. Who's that?
And this is our senior pastor.
Yay!
Welcome.
I feel like you should be wearing a tie. I don't know. I
get a
feel like you
jacket,
should have
tie,
a uniform.
Jason Carson.
I feel like you should have money just stuffed in your pocket.
And I'm not a senior pastor yet.
That many
Just a couple more
and a
days.
half.
This Sunday,
This Sunday is it.
formerly of the Supertones, formerly of Youth Ministry Extraordinaire.
Still loves
He
youth
brings
ministry.
Love
some.
youth ministry.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
He brings some senior leadership to the table.
Yeah.
Fun
A
perspective,
little.
exciting show. What we didn't tell you last week,
Oh, dude.
we had Reggie on the show.
I know.
Reggie Joyner,
Wanted to
who
be
Wish-
here.
is the head of Orange, which is our primary sponsor of the web show. We're so grateful
Thank
for
you,
Orange.
Thank
They
you,
flew
Orange.
out. They flew out their, well, really the likable ones.
Yeah,
The-
they're nice.
The top
They're
four
nice
leaders
people.
of the Orange organization, and we spent some time with them last week. Reggie was
is
on the show.
So wise.
He's
I
a
mean,
wise
just
man.
hearing him, I could have listened to him talk and answer questions forever.
He's great. You know
I
what?
thought we might. I was like,
I
let's go
saw
to
his
lunch.
bio photo on the Orange
I
conference, and here's my new goal in life. My new goal for this year
He
is
is
to get him
beautiful
to
as Reggie
smile.
Joyner.
No,
Just
to
to
get
have
him
a
to
full
smile.
page
Oh,
out of your
Look
face.
at, smile, dude.
Oh, come on. Yeah.
Let's see what we
I
got.
You got a
thought
lot to be happy
Felix,
about.
Look
Yeah.
at the wisdom
You do the best conference in the country, and your bio picture doesn't have you smiling. So
fair.
anyway, we're gonna all be at the Orange conference. Jason, he invited you to be at the Orange.
No way.
Yes.
Awesome.
You're in. You're
I love
in,
it. I
dude.
was thinking I wouldn't go to conferences this year.
Unfortunately, that's where the good news ends.
No.
That
No.
was the end.
Hey,
of it.
that's great news.
No, so
Wait, there's more.
This is an
you
exciting
remember my
moment.
only goal for
I
2015?
remember I'm not biting in case it's not true because I can't live up to those expectations. So
Okay,
don't,
so
don't play with me, Fields.
If you haven't been paying attention to the show, we started
Which is most
talking
of you.
about Orange a few weeks back as
Uh-huh.
the primary sponsor of
Absolutely.
2015.
Yep.
Jason said,
Jason got
"I
like a junior
love
high
them.
schooler on a summer
We're
party."
starting a new church. We can't afford their curriculum." And I said, "I know people.
I know a
Let's
guy
see.
who doesn't smile.
Let's
and you
see.
fly private jets, and I thought maybe there's yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
fly them. I fly in them."
I am them.
They fly in me.
They fly me.
Best day.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes.
And I said, we presented the case. You ought to watch the show.
Yeah,
okay?
you should watch
But
the show.
if someone posted it,
Well, that's producer Parker right there.
Yeah.
You're doing a great
throw
job.
Parker under the bus.
You're doing
Yeah,
a
you're doing a
Reggie-
great
Get
job.
to this. Get to this.
Reggie
Show us. You're
said
doing a
he
great-
would be happy to give it to your church.
Oh man.
Yeah.
He would be
Free.
happy to. However, you forgot
However,
that. Congrats,
That's
dude.
good.
Congrats. That's big.
Yes.
This is awesome.
I think he said first year. We're
Yeah,
gonna have to
first
watch
year.
the show.
First
but
year.
first year,
Thank you,
get you on your
Reggie.
feet.
Thank you,
free.
Orange.
I think
what a blessing.
part of
I
it,
think
he
he
wasn't
said
sure.
anything you want, you can have.
No,
it.
he actually did.
Yeah, he did.
I think he wasn't sure if the church would still be around in a year, and so
Right.
he,
No, it will
too
be.
soon. Is it too soon?
Well, he has
Yeah.
he has
Hasn't
his
started.
he has his first
Sunday.
service
In my
3
heart, I was
days.
like, "This is pretty dark. I can't." Okay, here it is, Jason. I love you. What I gonna say?
That is awesome.
I was
Congrats.
actually going to read
I'm
this
overwhelmed.
first email from Susie Ralph, who is a
Oh.
DYM member. She
Yeah.
goes to student leadership conference in
Yeah.
the summer.
Killer youth
Side
pastor.
note, Josh
Quote
and I
me
didn't
on
get
that.
anything for free, so
Yeah.
that's how special
Yeah.
you are.
You did a great job.
You got to know. I'm overwhelmed right now.
Side note, did I get something for free?
Well, yeah, you get everything for free.
I don't
Yeah.
get everything. Josh gets
Yeah.
everything for
Oh.
free.
I
Private
try.
jets.
I try to get everything.
Josh,
free.
because Josh asks. If I ask,
Yeah.
I probably might. But I'm
Maybe.
too
You
embarrassed
asked
for
not
that.
because you.
Well, Susie
No.
says, "Can I get a free
rid-
ticket to the Orange Conference?"
Nope.
And
Jason
Yes.
just took it.
I just
Jason
got it.
just took
what
it.
I wanted to
Sorry,
say,
Susie.
I don't think you can, but Jason
Oh,
is
wow.
not only getting curriculum for his new church plant.
But he gets
Um,
to go to the conference for
Am I
free.
going
And-
to Orange?
Well, I don't think they're paying for you to go to Orange. They're going to pay for you to get in the conference and
Your ticket.
bring your team.
can
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring your team.
You
They'll-
get there. They'll take you there.
Yeah, it's
then
like
you-
$329 to go to the
Yeah,
conference.
you basically
Wow,
hit
bro.
the
And
And the reason I know it's $329,
You just
How do
read
you
the
know?
book.
if you're a DYM member, we're going to give a discount.
Oh, I
Yeah,
like
we're
that.
sending
So
a letter
Susie
out. We're sending a letter out.
could
and-
get a discount.
We're gonna
Yo,
go
Susie could be the promo code.
Oh, I like it. I like
Promo
it.
code Susie.
I think Susie should be the promo code for
Susie
Youth
Ralph.
Ministry
Oh,
360.
speaking of promo codes, the YM360 promo code of the week is Suzie, Suzie.
No.
For
It's Y, bro.
no, it's Suzie. I know her because we're Twitter friends.
My bad.
I will say this: it is a coupon that's good for 13% off everything with small groups. I have
Well,
no idea if that's true or not.
you know what?
But we love
What I love
YM360.
about YM360, they just sent
Oh, that's cool.
Goodness.
a
Oh,
whole box of their incredible curriculum. And what's funny is they sent the box, and we're actually got the box yesterday. We're leaving. We're moving out of here tomorrow.
oh yeah,
This
new
is
studio.
it. This
So
is it.
this
Last
has
couple
all
shows,
their,
right?
all their
Yeah.
stuff. Their
Cool.
the heaviest book I've ever held, 365 daily readings. Their
That's
new
serious. Take a
the
picture
whole
of that.
bit.
That's fancy.
So
This is
anyway.
cool size actually.
13% off. Use the promo
I like
code
I
Susie.
like it.
Go to youthministry360.com.
This is a cool book.
I know, I like
360.
this.
Susie with an IE.
You want it?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
365
free.
devotionals.
Katie got it.
Hey,
Got something.
It ain't orange curriculum for a year, but that's nice,
but you
Katie.
did good. It's a $12 book. Good job.
You know what? I'll get you a free shirt from Azusa Pacific University.
Oh, I love that sponsor of the show.
And you know what we always get? If you're a member, you get free student leadership
Every month
from
on the first. Our friends at LeaderTrex. We love them all.
LeaderTrex.org. I'm always thrown by .org. I always want to say LeaderTrex.
Have you ever been to LeaderTrex.com?
No.
Me neither. But
I've been to leadertrex.org quite a bit actually.
there you go.
Yeah.
Well, and you should too.
The
They're
refuel
awesome.
retreat,
Oh.
all their student leadership
Yeah.
Their
stuff.
student leadership stuff is so great.
Bar none.
I'm using
But you-
some of it right now.
Are you a member, a
That's what that
DYM
means.
member?
You should be. With all the free
I don't know.
stuff she
My
gets from
parents
DYM.
are.
Oh yeah.
This is what she does. She's like, hey, can I get boxes? And I'm like, here's a link to boxes. Hey, we
Josh.
want to do, is it really in the Bible? I said, is it really? Hey,
Does she really type like this?
I assume.
I do.
Katie,
Just like
We want to do
this.
trivia crack. All right, here it
Katie.
is.
Like
Like
this.
every.
you've probably got the biggest budget in junior high history.
the worst typing in
You-
junior high
You
history.
probably have more junior high staff
Yes.
than DYM exists really for
Feel
people who
lucky.
don't have staff because we give them everything.
Yeah, we
you
are
making
their
me
staff.
feel bad?
No, I'm not making you feel bad. I'm just saying.
Enjoy this book and the guilt that
The
comes
last
saying-
thing that you'll ever get.
For $20 a month, let me tell you what you get. Katie.
Tell us.
You get the $20 back in store credit, and then you get 8 things. One includes a student leadership from LeaderTrex. You get a great video, you
Oh,
get
that's
games, you get all this unbelievable stuff. So
Yeah.
anyway,
There you go.
Well,
That's
they
amazing.
have great student leadership stuff.
they do.
And
They
I'm
do.
so
We're
excited
fans.
to get it off DYM.
You know, here's what I'm gonna do.
Instead of
I'm gonna
off
get you a
LeaderTrex.
scholarship. That would be my
.org.
favorite thing to do.
Scholarship?
is to scholarship Saddleback
Saddle-
Church's junior high ministry. No, I'm going to.
Wait,
No, that's awesome.
Stop.
That is
That's
awesome.
real.
I'm gonna scholarship.
Stop.
We're gonna get an official form. We have We
So-
actually, this
Yep.
is true. If you need a scholarship for DYM product, we have businessmen
Yes.
who
This is true.
underwrite.
This is true.
So I'm gonna.
We're going to underwrite.
You okay?
No, I
Where's
took
your
my
wedding
ring
ring?
off last night for
Oh.
CrossFit, and I forgot to put it back on. I just
Is
now-
that your excuse?
What?
Honey, I was
You
doing
just
pull
wanted
ups.
to say
Sorry.
CrossFit.
I'm
What's
just gonna do
happening?
this.
Dude, you look good with a tattoo ring. That's not true.
No, I wouldn't.
Don't do it.
Pasty
Yikes.
white.
Yikes.
I don't think so.
Don't do
So
it.
anyway, we're gonna scholarship Saddleback's junior high.
Okay,
Alright,
we're going to have
thank
that
you.
businessman pay.
So excited.
Yeah, I love that.
I love it.
All
I
right.
can't wait to find out what's next. I get something free. Here we go.
Nick Clausen, pastor of student ministries, University Baptist Church. Nick
Heyo.
Clausen, pronounced like Clayson. Sorry, Clausen.
Whoops.
Oh.
Here at Beaver Creek, Ohio, DYM member.
All right. Ding, ding.
La-da-da, and insider.
What's it do? Ring a bell?
How
Throw
do
a
you
towel? What do we do?
partner? How do you partner with families if your parents either A, aren't involved, B, don't go to your church, C, don't seem to care?
Ooh. We
I
have
think-
all of them.
Yeah, I was going to say, that
Yeah.
describes all families right
We have
there.
a lot of those.
No, that's great. I would say this is the part of the conversation from family ministry that is largely missing. Like everyone's like, family this, and let's do this, and we're going to, everyone together. And they ignore a really significant membership of the church that is the teenagers attend the church, but the parents don't. or especially a very evangelism-focused church or youth ministry, they're going after students, and the parents have no interest in spiritual things. I think so. Family ministry, in a lot of times, totally breaks down in that scenario. So I think it's a really good question. That was no answer. I'm just affirming Mr.
good
Clayson's
job.
question. You're welcome.
Wow, way
Yeah.
to just reword the question.
It's a gift. That's my gift to you guys. That's free.
Thank you. I think in partnering with parents who aren't involved or don't go to those, I guess kind of all go together maybe. I think one thing is just really clear communication and definition of what's happening at the church, because I think we do have a lot of students who are invited by friends, and then maybe we communicate with them, but we assume that they speak our language, or we assume that they know what a life group is or a small group or some of those types of things that we might invite their student into. And so I think, whether it's you're having a website or you have a communication avenue that you use with parents often, just being willing to not make assumptions, break things down. Things are super clear, easy to find, also defined kind of in all those arenas. I think that helps just, create, space for them to know what's going on.
We had a parent contact us, it was a couple weeks ago now, but she was freaking out because this adult man was calling her teenage son. And was like, why is this happening? This isn't appropriate.
It's weird.
Why would an adult man be texting and calling? I don't understand. And an unchurched family, that I would actually affirm that leader and say, great job reaching out to this kid and inviting him to be a part of the community. But to her, it was such a foreign concept. So I almost think like a vocabulary and the most basic explanation of things would be really helpful to hand out. And I would just add one thing. Don't just hand out information to the students that are in attendance, because oftentimes that just doesn't make it home. Yeah. So, an example this week, Christian was supposed to tell us about some serve event.
Christian is your seventh grade son?
Christian's my oldest son. He's in junior high ministry. He's supposed to serve at some.
Used to be called number one.
He still is. He still is. But now that he's a teenager tomorrow, just revealed his birthday. Whenever this airs in May 2015, now they're going to know. But it was a big deal because they communicated really well with him, and none of that made it home to us. So some school serve thing they were doing, which is fine, but we didn't know about it till that day. And so now we're scrambling, we're rearranging kids and drivers and whatever. So I think just don't assume that talking to the student is enough. Communication also has to, go all the way to the home.
I think too, being willing to be on the curb, or every student, most students are getting dropped off. I mean, especially in my age group, maybe not quite as much in high school, but being out on the curb of the church
absolutely.
or of the home or wherever the event is happening, having people out in the front ready to greet, or even just wave at the car, just kind of making even some great contact.
Just some human.
Yeah, I think that goes a long way.
And when people know that you're there for them, like how good is that, right? So if we did some stuff sometimes once a month, like it was like a parents seminar workshop. So if you can do like a social media thing to help them, or help help parenting with teenagers, like things like that maybe takes away a little the church stigma off of non-believers or people that aren't involved or whatever. But just to say like, hey, we have this for you. Even if they're not attending, they see like, wow, look at, they keep on inviting me to this. And I love what you said too, like communicate to them, give them your monthly calendar. This is what's happening, is what your teenager's coming to. This is what we're about. And that stuff kind of gets in. But I mean, like a lot of the church planning stuff I'm, neck deep in right now. I mean, it's about, well, if you're going to reach the community, show them you care. So like for these parents, if you want to partner with them and stuff, like start there. Show these parents you do care. Show them you're invested. Don't just be like, all I'm responsible is for these kids that show up each week. Like that's part of a youth pastor's job, right?
That's good.
To connect to the parents and bring them in that way. But don't expect instant results, but show them you care and do things for them.
Parent ministry is not easy.
Absolutely.
So we complicate it further in these scenarios. So it's not easy when they go to your church.
Right.
It's not easy when they show up in youth group and you know them, they're tithing members. It's still not easy to care for families. So this complicates it more. But, one of the options that he gave is, A, aren't involved, B, don't go to your church, C, don't seem to care. I think we got to be real careful about that don't seem to care.
Yeah.
Because the reality is most parents I've ever met, they actually really care about their kids.
Yeah.
And by us we assume they don't care because they don't show up to a parents' meeting or something
Right.
like that. It really doesn't mean they don't care. It may mean they're a single parent, they're working 2 jobs, and they have 4 kids.
Right.
So I think we got to give parents the benefit of the doubt in situations like that. But
Yeah, and don't you think especially that's a typical young youth worker mistake? And as you aged and had teenagers, you'd go, I can't be at everything that's offered. Like I'm starting to just experience it now going, I don't want to dismiss the discipleship of my son to Wildside. I don't want that. But I am so thankful that you are a part of that role. It's not that I don't care. It's not that I'm dismissive or whatever. I am just thrilled that you will take him for an hour.
yeah, and
pour
Wildside
into
is the
him
name
and
of
love
the
him.
junior high ministry.
Right,
I'm
right.
just going to be your syllabus here today.
Yeah, you
Not
know,
your
do what I can.
syllabus.
I
your
think-
thesaurus.
You know,
Thesaurus.
it's 270
Either
episodes.
or.
I'm pretty sure
Either or.
we're okay.
Well, what happens
by
if
that
people
time.
join in?
They don't. No one joins in.
Really?
Either-
we're just keeping old people.
We're just there's
No, I get
Prove
emails
it.
all the time. People say, "I'm listening to this first show I've listened to," or something.
Yeah,
like
no,
that.
I'm
I don't
sure.
read their emails because it's their first show.
Yeah, right.
Rewinders, veterans.
Yeah, come back in a couple years. We'll still be here.
Yeah.
Getting older.
Episode 264.
And if it is your first time, just lie about it. Say we've been watching.
Yeah.
Hey,
Faithful
we also on the Download Youth Ministry /blog. Is that
Yeah,
it, Josh?
something like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll get there.
you just posted something on parents partnering with parents.
Yeah.
I see stuff on there all the
I'm
time.
glad that you read that. I'm surprised.
Why are you surprised?
I don't know. I just figure you're pretty busy.
All I do is read your stuff
No, I just kind of came up with just
and
five.
edit it.
five keywords to think about, and one of them is communicate, because I think that's the you got to start there, and then I think there's some deeper ones down the list too. But
Yeah.
that's a really big one.
Good. Check out the blog for that.
JG.
This is from Justin Curl. Justin says, "Hey, I'm a DYM member, a rewinder."
Oh, we will read your email,
Do you know what a
sir.
rewinder is?
Yeah, they go back and watch all the
All right.
shows after they've
Just
seen
testing you. You're
Yeah,
still kind of the
good
new guy.
it. Senior.
How
And-
long? Hey,
You guys.
yeah, we'll take it. We'll take
And
it.
a brand new XP3
Oh.
student curriculum user.
Thank you, Orange.
Wow,
XP3 is
already.
the high school curriculum for Orange. I'll just be your syllabus today. Don't worry about it.
And the it's really not
Thesaurus.
I don't think
syllabus.
syllabus is
Thesaurus
still
is
right.
the correct
No.
word in the
You said syllabus earlier, and I was
I know.
like,
And then I
okay.
went
then
to
you use it,
thesaurus,
now
and that's
you-
not it.
Yeah.
It's.
Vocabulary sheet, definition, dictionary.
I feel like let's talk about this.
I feel like I want to pause the show to figure out what the word is. Appendix.
tomato tomato.
Okay. What?
Glossary.
No.
Glossary. There it is. Glossary of terms.
Come on.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the closest. Let's give it to her.
What's another
Thank
word
you.
for glossary?
And you know what?
There's
Not
zero.
only that.
That's the word.
We're gonna give you something else from.
Oh, wow. I'm taking a drink of your coffee.
You're not gonna like it.
Oh.
All right, so here's what Justin says. He says, the problem I'm having right now is I'm losing adult leaders left and right.
Oh no.
I've lost 4 this last month due to circumstances beyond my control. Any advice? Now, let's go bigger than Justin's issue and say, what do you do when you lose a leader?
You panic. That's what you do.
Katie Edwards is the
Get
best
desperate.
leader builder I know.
Get
Katie, I gotta hear what you gotta say.
Yeah, let's start there.
You have always. Do you know that?
You're going to have wisdom.
I've
We're
told
going to be
you
making
this.
stuff up.
You
Stop.
always take such good care of your leaders. You've seen her in action, obviously.
Thank you.
Oh, absolutely.
She's incredible. I went to her camp. She is the best in business. Katie, how do you keep leaders? How do you encourage them? She wrote a book on it.
It's true.
I mean, I think when you lose leaders, I think leaders working with.
There's so much pressure on her right
This is
now.
incredible.
You know what? I'm going to be a glossary for you.
You want to take this free resource back?
Stop.
Because this is not a good start.
I know, I'm sorry. We have a ministry to leaders as well as a ministry to students. And so I think when leaders are
Yes.
exiting your ministry, it's great to journey with them on the way out as much as on the way in. So,
So important.
what are the circumstances surrounding that? You know, in this question, it's things that are out of your control. Sometimes there are things that are within their control and you're asking them to journey out or whatever. But I think just exiting people in a healthy way, having a great one-on-one conversation as they leave could be a great learning experience for you, you know, as a leader. It also is, you know, we're pastorally caring for people as they're leaving. They might not be leaving the church, so we still want to maintain a great relationship with them. When leaders leave our ministry and it's circumstances that are outside of their control, like they're sick or they're dealing with, you know, something that they're managing, I think it's important to stay connected because maybe they could come back around at some point too. And so just like maintaining relationships on the way out if you can. Sometimes when we ask leaders to step down, those relationships can't be maintained, but still, again, being the church and having them be a part of the church beyond your youth ministry. But I think when leaders are leaving your ministry, I think it's always a great thing to touch base with them and ask, what was great? What can I learn? You know, where are, you know, what can I do differently next time when I bring on a volunteer, or if I bring you back on, what can I do? I think being humble enough to ask some of those questions when people are on the way out can be really great.
And usually give them a little bit of time
Yeah,
after they're out, because they're not going to tell you the truth right away.
Right.
You know,
give them some
maybe you
space.
go to them 3 months later and you say, okay, now why did you really leave? You know, what can I learn from you as a leader?
Isn't it sad that most people don't do that? And we all know that's the right answer, but most people in that situation don't drop their pride enough to just say, like, help me at the exit interview, right? And it's so valuable. That's all I have to offer this, is I would encourage people, let's all drop our pride in those situations and find out what's going on. How's their heart?
Well, every lead youth worker, I think, and this is, you know, I rarely make like definitive statements like this, but I'm even going to lessen it a little bit. But
it's just an opinion.
every lead youth worker, I was going to say
I don't
needs to
even really believe
be in
it.
their top 3. I'm going to say top 5, but I would probably argue for top 3. The top 3 or 5 things you've got to do. Okay, outside, let's say one is increase your intimacy with God as a leader. But, you know, right up there in the top is you've got to have leadership. You got to be all about developing leaders. Mm-hmm. So with Justin, panic happens when you run, I need 8 leaders and I got 8 leaders. Mm-hmm. You know, grace, comfort, you know, you're able to be more pastoral in a situation. Somebody comes to you and say, you know, I need to leave youth ministry. You're able to go, oh, I mean, you're just able to approach them better if you've got 12 leaders instead of the needed 8. You go, okay, I've got some, you know, grace in this situation. But if you've got 8 leaders and one is all you're thinking about is the pain it's causing you. And, you know, unless you're lying. You say, no, really, I really care about them. Not at first. I mean, after, you know, most leaders I know don't anyway. Yeah. So I think on every leader's radar has to be, I'm developing leaders. I'm trying to move them. You know, I've told you guys my first thing Kathy and I did early in our ministry, we would write our leaders' names and write on napkins. You maybe don't know this story, Jason. But this is before we had kids, the whole bit. We would go out to lunch with leaders after church on Sunday, and Kathy and I were the last to leave, or we'd go to a different place, and her and I would debrief it before we'd go home and take our Sunday afternoon nap, which we couldn't do once we had children. But in early days of ministry, and we would just take a napkin and we would just write down leaders' names, and we put an A, B, or C by them. A was they were great. B is, oh, they're okay. C is how do we get rid of them? And so really the goal was to keep everybody out of the C range, but if they're B, how do we help them become an A? If they're an A, how do we affirm them and keep them going?
That's good.
You know, the whole bit. But let's don't get people dry. So every week we do it. The reason we do it on a napkin is because we couldn't afford paper back then. No, is just because I wanted to throw it away. I didn't want it laying around my office. You know, somebody coming in and saying, "Oh,
Johnny's a C."
Yeah. But having that idea that we're always developing leaders. Who's next? And I think that's good for even staffing at churches, for senior leadership. You know, in your position, Jason, as you're going to begin to hire people, you might have a great worship leader, but in the back of your mind, you've got to be thinking, who's next? You know, as opposed to thinking that worship leader is going to be with you forever. I just think that's what good leaders do. Good leaders are actually thinking, who's next? Who do I want on the team? Whether they play shortstop or left field, I want them on their team. Who's that next person out there?
Right.
That's a baseball analogy in case you need a glossary on that one. Just want to make sure.
Thanks, Josh.
Yeah, I got you. I just got you covered.
And that way, if a kid comes and says, it's time for me to leave, you know, and you say, that's okay, you're a C anyway.
Well, yeah, goodbye.
Wait, you don't even meet with them then. Oh, you're going to leave. We're going to ask you to leave anyway.
Saves me the trouble, yeah. People love hearing that.
You were a D.
I'm going to affirm you leaving. That's what I'm going to affirm.
Hey, there are times that you do need to do that. This is from Matt Reno, youth pastor, Calvary Baptist Church, Mount Pleasant, Iowa. Iowa? IA?
Nevada.
No.
Reno.
IA.
From Reno.
Thank you for that.
How come I don't know
That was,
Iowa?
that was
I mean,
Okay,
I would
that's
do
Iowa.
that.
Iowa.
IA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, team, Matt. Sorry you got canned. Hey, keep that going, even though Matt's gone. That is
3
just
years
a great.
from now, it'll be like, oh.
Yeah. I'm a
Jason, sorry your
DYM
church
member
got folded.
and rewinder. What did you say?
Doing
so
that.
Wow. You just said, sorry, your church plant folded. Thanks,
That's
Josh.
terrible.
No, that's great. That's great, bro.
It's so
That's
bad.
really encouraging.
It's so
God's built me my whole
Dude,
life for this, and
you're-
it happens in 3 days. And
We're behind
Before it
you.
starts.
Here's
We're
my
behind you.
guess.
Katie and
You're
Doug,
the new
thank
Matt.
guys,
You're the
for
new
your-
Matt. That's all.
Thank you.
You're the new
Josh
Matt.
hasn't
Just
had
get
a
on
quiet
board.
time in a week. That's my bet.
Oh, so
That
we
is-
started.
That is
Oh.
not
Use
true.
it by
That's my bet.
I'm going to use this great Youth Ministry 360 devotional called Extraordinary.
That's Katie's. She won't give it to
Code
me
name.
after
You
I
might
leave.
need it more than
Susie
me.
That's
for
true.
13% off.
I'm starting to get students asking me to write recommendations for scholarships to go to college. Seeing as you are sponsored by Azusa Pacific University, do you have any helpful tips on how to write a great recommendation for my students? I want to be as effective and truthful as possible.
Oh.
That's the problem. Wanting to be truthful.
That's very noble.
And
Very
effective.
noble of you. Well, we have a resource on Download Youth Ministry called Letters, and Letters Bundles 1, 2, and 3. And included in there are some example letters that you could use to be inspired by, or even...
Can you cut and paste them?
You certainly
Move around some
could.
words?
You certainly could. But the idea is you can get an idea of like the recommendation letters that we would legitimately write for students, and it's
You
$3
don't have to do
for
that much in junior high ministry, do you?
A lot of my leaders. So I have a lot of
Yeah?
high
Oh,
school
that's
seniors
right.
studying
Oh, yeah.
with me, so I actually do quite a few
Oh, that's
because they're in leadership.
Yep.
So I
Yeah,
do a lot.
great recommendation.
I have like a template. I mean, I have like a couple of different templates depending on. So I really feel like you only need to write a great template and
Yes.
then add in the truthful parts, and
Yes.
because there are some things that are true about most of the seniors that I work with, and then there are things that I think are
Yeah.
unique to them. So I would just create a great template or two and utilize those. So
Okay, let me give you two truths.
I always wonder if people actually read them.
That's truth number one.
I'm like, do people read this? I don't know.
I will find out from APU.
Oh yeah, find out.
Well, I
They
don't know if they're
won't
going to tell me.
tell you.
I
No.
never.
They read them.
Okay, look.
Vanguard and Biola has told me, several people have told me, yeah, we
They read 'em.
incredible letter. Yeah.
Well, that's great. That's
Thank
good
you
to
for the
know.
time and care
Really?
making each one
That's what,
different.
that's what I was told
'Cause
from Vanguard and Biola.
I've
100.
one
I
time,
wonder.
one
I
time
wonder.
in 30 years being a youth pastor, Westmont College called me about this guy who had bad grades. He was like C, D student, but he was like Parker actually. You know?
Producer Parker's
Hey.
on fire today.
he was like total like computer creative.
So
Total
really smart
failure in
and bright.
school.
No,
You know?
like Parker.
C's and D's.
I have no idea what kind of grades you get.
we
he was
put A,
the,
B,
he was
and
the
C.
C. C.
He's a
Parker got a
C.
D.
No, but this guy was just so smart. He was under challenged by high school.
Yeah.
And I said, if I know looking at this guy's transcripts, you won't want to accept him.
That's cool.
But so one time in 30 years have I ever been called by a college, and I've written hundreds of these,
Yeah.
which makes me think
Yeah.
they don't read.
They don't read.
And,
Didn't
thank-
they
and
got-
thanks for that letter, by the way, Doug.
Look at what he was turned into today.
No,
That's
it
so
was,
great.
it
I
was,
would've never made it.
it was template 13, I
Yeah,
think. is what it
template
was.
13A.
Loser student.
But here's
Let me
the
just type
here's
in
the
a
other thing.
little-
I had templates, but I would personalize them a little bit
sure.
based on
That's what I did too.
Stories,
But
yeah.
10 minutes
So did you.
versus 50,
Maximum.
I mean,
Maximum 10
you
minutes.
know,
Yeah.
if you're starting
But-
with a blank Word document, that
Oh,
is
gosh.
brutal.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. That I live this. I don't know if I've ever said this out loud publicly.
Wow, you have made a lot of
This
declarations.
is filtered.
today.
Yeah, here
no
we go.
filter.
Here
No
it
filter.
comes.
Now you
show.
need to cut.
No,
Now you
here
need
it
to ease
comes.
off.
Top
a
three.
little.
I'm
Top
not-
three.
Top five.
Top five. Don't even
Top
believe
7.
it. Don't even believe it anymore.
Go.
I write
Lots of stuff.
almost all encouragement. Like here's my fear. That kid is going to work in admissions his junior year of college.
So you write the most glorious note.
Classic.
Behind his
And
letter.
he's gonna go through his
he's
own
gonna
file.
find it, and he's gonna go, "What did Doug feel? I can't believe." So
How did I even get in?
I
Yeah.
write when people ask me to write letters. You are the greatest kid that I've ever discipled.
That is awesome.
Because here's the deal. I figure if the college really wants to know about him, they'll call me.
Yeah.
If he or she's on the fence, and like I said, 30 years, one person.
That's
So-
amazing. Did the dude get into school?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
He did.
because
He
of your
flunked
letter.
out.
Oh my goodness.
No, I'm just
And
kidding.
he now
I
owns
was
Google.
like, oh, yeah, totally. He started a little
He
thing
started a
called Google.
thing called Facebook.
No big deal. At least I could do.
That would be the greatest story
It would be
ever.
great.
Sermon
And he
illustration.
led Billy Graham to the Lord. All because he got
All
into
because of my
Westwood.
letter.
Long
My
time ago.
letter back.
You're welcome. No, I mean, I have 3 of them sitting on my desk right now, so I know this tension as well. I just go in, find one, mess with it, send it off.
Yeah.
And no
Well,
guilt,
and it's
no
a
shame.
big
You
deal.
must read a lot.
It's a
I
big
do.
deal to the kids.
Yes,
because
huge.
now I've got all 3 kids that have gone to college.
Yeah.
They're like, Josh is not my dad. I've asked Josh, and I'm like, Josh, here, I'll forge it. But it's a big deal to them because they're trying to close their packet down, and I never realized that. I'd be like, yeah, I'll get
they're
to it
urgent,
one of
though.
these days, and
Oh yeah, but they give you a stack of 10. That's what's always like.
Yes.
Okay,
That's
I'll try
when
to get
it's-
to these things.
Yeah. Which one do you really
Bananas.
want to get into? I'll
Yeah,
send.
I'll do those
I'll
too.
do a couple.
Don't you love when a kid doesn't ever fill out their top section, the only part that they're
Yep.
responsible for?
yeah.
Where it's like,
Uh-huh.
it says the applicant must,
name.
it says it on there, the applicant must fill in this section, and
Yeah.
they do nothing. And you're like,
How
Am I really
how
spending
many
my work day doing
professions
this?
in the world could have this
I
conversation?
agree.
Totally.
One
Right, now,
here.
where we're all nodding about what knuckleheads they are because they
yeah.
don't fill in the top form. That's
Do you ever
funny.
let people see the letter? Like some people say, "Can you just give me a copy of it?"
I sometimes
Never. Never.
I do
want-
for all my
Never.
my favorites.
No, I
See,
don't want that
yeah.
template to
Give
get
it to
out.
students.
if you played by my rules, everything's good anyway. You write
That's
everything.
true.
They're gonna find it their junior year.
That is so funny. I love it.
Admissions.
Well, if anybody wants to write the 3 that I have on my desk right now, I'd really appreciate it.
Oh, I can't
So,
wait. All right,
Mike would really appreciate it.
Hey.
So it'd be great.
our 30 minutes went by.
Wow.
quick.
That was
This is
fun.
the college recommendation.
And I got
show.
orange.
College.
You did get
Bingo.
orange.
Drop,
Yes.
drop the mic right there. It's over.
Can I drop
It's
it?
we're a swifter, shorter
Okay.
show.
What's happening?
30 minutes.
Yeah, it was great.
That was a great
See,
show.
Jason, here's the deal.
Parents.
For
college reps.
250 episodes, we were like 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
Now we're just
New day.
shorter show.
Just like my sermons as a senior pastor.
Up top. Keep it short.
Yeah?
Keep the crowd. Keep it
Well,
short.
we'll
Keep 'em
see.
wanting more.
Oh, dude, I
Wanting
haven't
more.
even done one, and my team is already betting against me. They don't think I can
Really?
hit the 35
I can't imagine
mark.
people
I'm
being
like, are you
hostile
kidding?
towards you.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Of course I
easy.
can hit 35 minutes.
Yeah.
You can-
I mean,
35 is
And,
still a little
and
long.
it makes me say,
You're a little
I'll
charismatic.
prove you wrong.
Yeah, do you think that's why they're doing it?
That's what you teach, right? 35 minutes?
No, 35 is way too long.
Oh.
33 tops. No, honestly, I mean, I think that'd be for a senior pastor, 35, money.
It's great.
That'd be great.
Great message. You can say a
Yeah.
lot in 35 minutes.
I'd go to that church. You looking for a high school pastor?
I will be.
Get some good curriculum.
Yeah,
See
always
what I
got to
can
be
do.
looking for that
Sweet
next
color.
guy.
Yeah.
If we learned anything. All right.
Next
you guys
person.
are wonderful.
Stop.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
You're wonderful too. See you on the next show. Bye, everybody.
Go Seahawks.